So in this video, I want to share with you a thought that I have had for the last couple of weeks, and it's how do I collect as much context as possible about my personal life. So it can be business, it can be my own things. Like I'm, I'm interacting, I'm connecting with so many different people, with so many different tools. Like there's so much value that I myself put out. Not all of it is value, for example, for business, but like there is a unique part of me that I put out, just like you have with your connections, with other people that you talk to, or other tools that you interact with. And there's so much value in that, especially with AI. So it's a waste not to capture it. Maybe you don't know what to do with all that data right now, but there's going to be a point in the future where things are going to make more sense. So, how am I currently thinking about capturing more data? Well, first of all, it's capturing all my meetings. So, in this case, for business, the value is pretty clear. If I can get more context about the clients, about what I want, without me needing to text the clients or contact the clients for the same information, that's a value because the client has less effort and less mental needs less mental capacity for interacting with me for information that he or she has already shared with me. So I don't have to ask more questions for the same information. So capturing, in this case, meeting data. That's one of the simplest ways to do. There's also another thing that I can do, and that's, for example, go back to all my emails. So I can literally take a look at all the emails that I have sent, where I put my thoughts into it, and I actually like format it in a short email, and I put it out. I myself don't have any newsletters or different kind of emails. So for me, it's just emails that I've sent to clients, emails where I have shared value, mostly just one on one. There's also like a source of my knowledge in there. So I could extract that. Another way that I'm looking at the data is, of course, the notes that I have already taken. So I take all my notes, for example, in Apple Notes. I've also used Google Keep for a while. But whatever your tool is that you prefer, there's so much context already being stored. It could also be Notion, by the way, which I've also used quite some time. So that there's so much ideas, so much context already being stored. And maybe there's nothing of the actual value inside, like the words that are very powerful, like there's some great ideas in there. Even if that's not the case, that doesn't matter because in the things that you've typed, there's also, for example, a style, like how you've typed them. And that style is also of value because with those examples of what your sentence structure is, like what is your tone of voice, you could also use that for future purposes. So in this case, for business purposes, where you could like write emails or do other things with it, or write copywriting, um, yeah, whatever type of writing that needs to sound like you or like give a feeling that it's you could use it for that. So another one that is getting more and more relevant for myself is looking at what content have you put out. So you could check at your socials or take a look at your socials if you're active on that. For me, I'm not really that active on the socials, but I am now more active on YouTube. So for YouTube, literally for my videos, I could scrape my videos with one of the tools, for example, that I have built earlier. And I could literally scrape the transcriptions and use that with AI to capture my way of speaking, to capture the ideas that I'm presenting, to capture anything that is said between the lines or actually said on the lines. So I could use at any type of content I output. There's also another thing that I could look at, and that is not just my content, that's content that I consume. So, what content do I like to consume? For me, I'm a big fan of YouTube. I like video, I like how it's presented. That's also why I like to share on YouTube. There's so many great ideas here that I'm already consuming. So, why not take those ideas? Why not take the things that you find interesting, collect those, and then save it so that you can later um, get a better idea about what you like, or you can talk about the things that you like in the style that you already are or talk in. So there's so much things that you could do by just collecting this data from yourself, by making it active so that you can actually work with it and start creating things. Even if it's not creating for putting it out there, even if it's just creating for yourself. I would really recommend for you to collect more data about what you're already doing. So those are the main ways on how I collect data, or at least that are on my schedule for collecting data. I'm still working on a few right now, so I cannot do all of them at once. My focus for now is collecting the videos that get recommended to me and also analyzing my own videos so that I have a more concrete example about how I can improve it in this case, and what am I actually saying? Like, what am I saying? And in this case, who is my target audience? So for now, I am in that part, but there's so much more that you can track, and there's so much more that you can do with it. Like, the more you track, the more you collect, the more network effects you can give. Because one insight from one point you could apply to all the other data that you've tracked. So that's just a thought that I was having and am having for the last couple of weeks, and I wanted to share it with you. So if you think this is interesting, please drop a comment, and I will see you in the next video.